Hello. Rachel's in the house. How you doing, everybody? It's the Pearlo Wisdom Show. We're back. Wasn't on yesterday, but I think I was supposed to do a stream yesterday, but it didn't work out. So I ended up having a full day off. It's a lot of interesting news going on there in the NHL. One of them that I really wanted to hit on is apparently, and I'll probably be doing a video on this, is apparently Forsberg, Nashville, is making Forsberg available right now before the deadline even. So kind of what I thought may happen is that David Poile has realized that they are probably not a contender. So it really doesn't make much sense to sign Forsberg to a long-term contract. I agree with this. I think they'll get a healthy return for Forsberg. And, the type of game they play, the type of way they play, they'll probably be okay anyways. I mean, it's going to be tough for them, but I gotta say, I'm kind of for the deal. It's hard to do. Forsberg has been there a while. He's their only real goal scorer. I don't know how this is going to have an effect on the room, but it almost seems like it has affected the room. Besides the win against Florida, I think the players have kind of caught wind, and the type of game that they play there in Nashville, you really need full energy. And if something takes the wind out of you, so to speak, like it did, like that kind of information when you realize that, oh, the team's going to be trading Forsberg. So we did all this work to get to here and we're in a playoff spot. It's kind of hard to keep on fighting. But I really didn't think that they were going to be able to do much in the playoffs anyways, because the way they have to win, they pretty much have to be Warriors for 82-game seasons. I just can't see them having enough left in them come playoff time to do too much. Maybe one or two rounds. And I'm pretty sure David Poile, that's the hard thing about being a general manager, is you got to make these decisions without emotions, right? Forsberg, and with the realization that fans are not going to be happy. You probably have a personal relationship with Forsberg and all that kind of stuff like that. And you know that the players are going to be disappointed in your decision to do this. But, hey, little Perk, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. You know that people are going to be disappointed that you do this, but you got to do it anyways for the good of the organization and the future of the organization. The good thing about Nashville is and they're probably going to lose to Minnesota tonight too. I hate to tell you that. I think so. The goaltending, my defense was my concern going in, but goaltending I had my concerns, and it looks like it's a big concern. Goaltending, like the Edmonton Oilers as well. But the good thing about Nashville is their fans show up no matter what. So they don't have to worry about their sponsors saying, no, you can't do that because, the sponsors need eyes on their product. The thing about Nashville is they show up. It's a family thing in Nashville to go to a hockey game. They made it. It's a very family town. And, win or lose, they're happy to go watch Nashville play hard and, do the best that they can do. And that's amazing for a market that wasn't a hockey market when Nashville got in there, which affords them to do the right thing here in trading Forsberg, I believe. Now, that being said, I don't think that Nashville is going to trade everybody away necessarily. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a burn down situation. But if they can grab like a really good prospect in a first, because I hate to say it, but their prospect pool is pretty weak there in Nashville too, which is not something that you were going to say about Nashville uh, throughout their existence, actually, besides maybe when they first started out. But it has gotten shallow. So I could see some other moves for some draft picks, and then they'll probably go out and get another free agent that plays the style that they want to and can score goals and stuff like that. Hard to say. Hard to say that way. Maybe it's going to be a burn down. I mean, Duchesne, with the year he's had, has put himself in a position where he has value now, even at $8 million a year. So, yeah, I had +1.5. 3 seconds left, yeah. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun, little perk? Fortunately for me, I went 10-3 in hockey last night. So, 2 of the 3 that I missed were Oilers money line, Oilers puck line. I had them on the PL and the ML last night, and I missed them both because the puck line would have basically made it a wash or close to it. Actually, that's not true. I would have been down half a unit because I had 4 on the PL, 2 on the ML. But that happens. Vegas came through. I had Vegas +3.5 team total, and Vegas in regulation. So that got. Mrazek is in tonight, and that's why I got Minnesota tonight. I'm taking Minnesota ML just because of Mrazek. Until I see Mrazek play decent, and he hasn't played decent in a while, I'm not on the Leafs. And the thing about the Leafs is they play a game that they play a game that they really got to rely on their goaltending a lot because they want to play a high pressure offensive game. Their game almost totally relies on the fact that, like, if they feel like their goaltender isn't going to make the save, they seem to not be able to put it together. It's just, and most teams are like that. If the team's not confident in their goaltending, they have a tendency to play a way that they normally wouldn't play. If they're a offensive team like the Toronto Maple Leafs are and play, a wide rink type game that they like to play at best, when they're really playing at their best, they try to play a wide rink game. And it's hard to do that when you know one mistake is going to go behind you. And what happens then is they start to get second guess themselves on cheating here. Call it cheating if you want, but leaving the zone and stuff like that. And if you do that against Minnesota, they're going to burn the crap right out of you. Oh, you put it on a duo. Oh, you on a parlay. Okay. Yeah, I just had it on as an individual bet, figuring that the Oilers would keep it close. But like you said, 3 seconds left. Jeez, that's it. I at least would have broke even. So yeah, back to that. Forsberg being available, watch out. I'll be doing a video for that. Maybe even as early as tomorrow. I'll be doing a video for that. Because it says that they're already have him available. Mrazek has been just as bad. If you guys want to talk about any games tonight, just let me know in the comment section. But I haven't even taken a look at it yet, but I just saw the article on Pro Hockey Rumors that apparently Poile has put Forsberg out there. Now, this could be just a contract ploy thing, but I don't think so. I think he is out there. And who did I have? I had a team that would be, Colorado. Just imagine if Colorado got Forsberg. And I could see it too. They would have to, okay, let's just see what that would look like. For Colorado, it would look absolutely beautiful. They might even be able to re-sign him possibly if they don't re-sign other people. Where are they? Colorado. Colorado. So if I'm trading it, I wonder if they would give you. I think they love Nichushkin too much. Yeah, they're not going to trade Nichushkin. 27 points in 35 games. That's not happening. That for sure you'd want Alex Newhook. You got to get Newhook in that case. The problem is they got to sign Kadri too, and I don't know if he's going to be a pure rental. I don't know if he'll even give up Newhook, but I think they'd have to give up Newhook to get him. That would be I would want Newhook all day long. If I'm going to trade you Forsberg, I don't even care if he's a rental. If Colorado got Forsberg, they would be like heavy favorites to win the cup for sure. Yeah, you got on at plus 6.5. I kicked myself. I didn't get in. I got in. I didn't get in till the 7. I don't know about the Preds. I got a funny feeling about the Preds. I like to let things stew for a while in my mind. The Predators beat the Panthers, and I liked the Predators in that game. That when they beat the Panthers, because the Panthers had just come back off of a long road trip, and it felt like a game where the Panthers, I think they lost 4 in a row, and it was one of those games where we just ain't losing this game, and that's it. Now the question, of course, here is now with the Panthers playing Dallas, they're just coming back off a road trip, but it's not a long road trip. The question is this a letdown game? Dallas played last night. I don't really like Holtby all that much. Now, this we would hope is going to be an angry game for the Predators tonight, especially if Philip Forsberg is on the block. Because what I think Hines will be doing in the room is, if we win our next 5 or 6 games right now, you think they're going to trade Forsberg? I doubt it. Which could very well be what this Forsberg on the block stuff is all about. It's time to step up and be a contender and win on a regular basis now. It might be just a message to everybody that you just lost 4 in a row. Like, if you're already pooched out now, you're not going to win in the playoffs. So I'm gonna put it out there that Forsberg is on the block to light a fire under your ass. So I think that's it. I think that's it. And yeah, if that's the case, then Nashville wins. Now the other side of it, of course, is that you did have that big game against Florida, and now this is a letdown game, which I doubt, because this is a game that both teams have to have. Looking at the standings, I should already know this, but looking at the standings, I mean, Dallas is at the moment right behind Nashville, like right behind Edmonton. If Dallas wins this game, they go into a wild card spot, 1 point ahead of Edmonton. And Nashville's only at 62. So, I mean, it is a race there in Nashville. So, yeah, you know, I do like Nashville tonight because they're going to play for Phillip. They're going to play for Forsberg tonight, I think. I think I made up my mind on that. Yeah, they played on a back-to-back last night. I had Dallas last night. Yeah. The thing that has me hesitant is Nashville, before that game against Florida, really didn't play well. And really, they won because Bobrovsky didn't play well. But if they're angry tonight, they should beat Nashville, yeah. Or they should beat Dallas. They should beat Dallas. It's a huge game for Dallas too. So I could see a draw. I could see a draw too. And then Nashville wins in OT. Anyway, give me another game you want to talk about. Let's just do this today. And because yeah, I'm going to say Nashville too. I'm going to put that in right now, actually. You got it in. Well, the Bruins should come through. I just wish Allmark wasn't in that. I just don't have much faith in Allmark, but fortunately for them, and that's the reason why he's in. Seattle's got pretty much a pop gun offense. I do believe Grubauer is in, and Grubauer is just way too inconsistent and mostly consistently bad than good. So. And their defense, the Bruins they're not really afraid to miss the playoffs, which has me a little hesitant because they could definitely underestimate Seattle here. But Seattle's been playing so bad, it's pretty hard to back them in any way, shape, or form. It's either fade or you take Boston in regulation. So, Boston to win before. They do have Columbus chasing them a little bit, don't they? Like 9 points behind. Columbus has got 9 points behind it, but they're on a winning streak right now. And if I'm Boston, I don't want to be here at this spot in the last wild card because you're playing Florida in the first round. I mean, you definitely want to, if you can, get up over the Rangers. What does the Rangers have? 69 points, which is pretty difficult to do, but. Or Toronto has 68 points. They want to catch up on Toronto and get up there, but then you got to play Tampa Bay anyways. Like, it almost doesn't matter who you play here. That's my concern, is that, you know, they're not going to kill themselves against Seattle, I don't think. Yeah, you know what? I got a weird feeling about that. The Canucks are probably going to come out fighting tonight. You got them coming up. They're going up against their old teammates and Markstrom and Tanev and guys like that. And they're coming in kind of cocky, like, you know. So I think the Canucks are going to be motivated to put out a pretty darn good effort tonight. I might like the under there. I'm kind of leaning to an under in that game, but it's 5.5. I was hoping it was 6. Yeah, that's the other thing about the Rangers Caps game. I still like the Rangers money line there, but because Washington doesn't have a very good record off of rest. But yeah, big fight tonight, right? Big fight tonight. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Do you think there's any chance that they're like, no, we're not going to do it? I just can't see it. Wilson and Reeves are going to go at her tonight for sure, no doubt about it. Now, I think another one about Nashville is Pekka Rinne is getting his the first jersey lifted to the rafters tonight in Nashville Auditorium, whatever that is. I don't know. I can't remember the names of all the arenas now. And I don't like there's such stupid names, but they're getting lifted to the rafters tonight. Now, normally I would be off a team when that's the case because usually they get all soft when they first start and stuff like that. And they could. I could see it being like Dallas comes out hard and then Nashville has to hold them off and then come back. Maybe 2 goals in the first wouldn't be a bad idea. But usually when they have those, it's like the team that comes that watches that the team that the player that is getting lifted to the rafters is happening to usually comes out pretty slow in the first period. I don't know. Nashville's just not a team to fall to that stuff very much though. So it's hard to believe that they will do that. I think there'll be fireworks, all right. I think there'll be definitely a fight in that game. I just can't see it not. Both teams are pretty set in a playoff spot because the East is pretty much set. So, yeah, I think so. That's why I also like the Rangers. I don't know. I just think the Rangers are going to have more reason to beat Washington than Washington is going to have to beat. The problem is Washington has been really good on the road lately. But Shesterkin against Samsonov, and I know Samsonov has played better as of late, but overall in the season, he hasn't played very well. Like, I really hasn't played very well. The Rangers have been now trying to play a more defensive game. So, and they have been. They've been not allowing more goals than they have in a long time. A lot more 2-1s, 3-1s, stuff like that. So they've been holding the opposition down on goals as of late. And although Washington has been scoring on the road, you're talking about Shesterkin and a team that's hell-bent on playing defense. So I think I like under and the Rangers ML. I also like the Rangers ML first period. Yeah, I hope everything works out and it gets fixed in that situation there for sure. War is like uh, never needs to be. But yeah, that's going to be a huge game. Huge. I mean, that's going to be fun to watch for sure, is what I mean to say. And the thing is, I won't be able to watch it either. I'm not going to be able to watch that game tonight. I'll have to watch the late games tonight. I got something I got to do. But so yeah, I think that's a 6, right? It's the total is 6 on that. Probably. Yeah, 6. Yeah, I don't know. I like the under on that game. Toronto, Minnesota. I mean, Toronto has been playing not really like they've been sort of playing bad defensively, been getting bad goaltending. Minnesota can. Minnesota, I got team total at over 3. I got in on a 3. Almost for sure they're gonna get at least 3 goals against Toronto tonight. I would think. Yeah, I like Minnesota too. I got Minnesota on a little one, and I like team total over 3. That should at least push. The way Toronto has been going, I just can't see Minnesota not scoring 3. Their 5-on-5 is awful. Toronto's 5-on-5. Hello, Lauren. How you doing? Toronto's 5-on-5 is awful. Yeah. The thing is, Minnesota really has been struggling as of late. I think one of the reasons why that is teams have figured out their possession game that I've been talking so highly about for the last little while. I think I think players have done, yeah, and Mrazek. I mean, it's either Minnesota or nothing tonight for sure. There's no way I'm taking Toronto minus anything. There's no way I'm taking Toronto minus anything, especially what they're given. No way. And no way I'm taking them in reg. They may win, maybe, but Mrazek has been terrible. Does he have a good game tonight? I suppose, but there's no reason to believe he will. Rangers and Caps draw. Could be. Could be. The Caps haven't played in quite a while. That's the thing about the Caps. I believe. Yeah, they haven't played in a while. 1, 2, 3, 6 games. They haven't played for 6 nights. Now, Tampa Bay hadn't played for a week last night. And actually, it showed because Edmonton really should have won that game last night. But Washington is a different animal. It seems to me, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't. Laviolette has not solved this problem totally with Washington. Maybe better, but in bad spots, Washington is bad. That's the problem. Washington loses in bad spots. It's very seldom that Washington wins in spots where they have lots of rest, first game back off of a road trip, like so many things. Like I should have known Super Bowl Sunday that Washington would lose that game against whoever they're playing against. Because if there is a reason that your average team is probably going to lose because of that, Washington loses because of that. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, in a great spot, Washington wins a lot. That's where they get most of their games. But if there's an excuse, if there's a reason, like first game back off a road trip, tired games, Washington loses all the time. 4 games in 6 nights or something like that. I fade Washington every time. So they haven't. And I take the Rangers. Last 2 games have been a draw. Well, the Rangers have been playing tighter. They've been playing. What's his name? The coach. Why did I just totally forgot the name of the coach? I want to call him Granato for some reason. Gallant. Gallant has been very public in wanting them to be much more tight defensive team. In other words, he's showing them what it's going to take to win in the playoffs. And they're starting now. They're starting to learn that game. So in doing so, that's why I like the under here. I would also lean to under 1 and under first period. And I like the Rangers in the first period because Washington is coming off a six-day break. As long as Shesterkin has a good night, I like that. Ozzy and Schultz back today. Oh yeah, that helps. That Schultz doesn't really mean much. Ozzy's back. That could change things in my mind. But it's first game back. Oshie's back tonight. That'll help the power play. But, I mean, it's the first game he's played in forever. Well, how much are you going to get out of Oshie on that? I don't know if that really changes it too much at all. Does change it a little bit for me. Justin Schultz being back doesn't change much of anything for me. It does help a little bit because who does that? Oh, that takes Daniel Sprong out and Kempney out. It does change it a little bit, but I still gotta go. I still gotta go based on what I normally see from Washington. Uh, Oshie, yeah. I still got to go what I normally see from Washington in almost every time that there's a spot that's a bad spot. They don't win. Make sure you're hitting that like button, guys. Try to get as many people in here as we can. So yeah, I'm not heavy on it though. Like I don't have anything heavy on this game because Washington has been playing better as of late. Like they had a rough spell, and they've been playing well on the road as of late. That's the thing that has me a little bit concerned. Um, so yeah, the last 6 of the last 10 games, it's been by 1 goal. They're on a 3-game under. Now that is against Boston, Detroit, and Ottawa. But they've been just barely beating those teams. Then they had the big win against Florida where they scored 5. But they shut down Florida to only 2 goals. Florida. They shut down Florida to only 2 goals. So the New York Rangers are playing sneakily well defensively. And you've got an Ottawa team that is coming off a 6-game layoff and a Rangers team that's able to shut down the Florida Panthers and, pretty much everybody else they played after that. Jeez, I bet you could get crazy odds on Washington Capitals under 3. What if the Capitals under 3? I wonder what that would be at. Do they even have that yet? No, under 3. Capitals under 3. Oh, you're only getting 2 for that? I thought you'd get more than that. Blue Jackets plus 2.5. What's that paying? Yeah, I like that actually. What are you getting on that? I got, how about 220 on Jackets plus 2. But the Heart, I mean, I wouldn't do much. I wouldn't do much on that because I mean, it was Florida, right? And I know that J.F. Berube has won his last 2 games, but he wasn't stellar in the games. Like, we're talking about the Florida Panthers here. I do like Jackets over 2.5 goals. The Jackets will probably score 3 tonight, I would say. The team total on the Panthers is plus 4.5, and the overall, I mean, the total even at 7, you got to put something on it. The Florida Panthers just can't stop scoring. They just can't stop. Is this the night that they stop against a Columbus Blue Jackets team who has Zach Werenski out. Like, their defense is beat up and never was good to begin with. Patrick Laine, anytime goal, for sure. No doubt about that. Team total over first, or not team total, first period over. First period, both teams score. There's another one. You know, look at, like, just score. Anything that says score, pretty much hit it. I would even put like a little bit on the Florida plus 4.5, to tell you the honest truth. This is one of those games, though, that's like everybody, it's so obviously over, it'll probably change tonight for reasons we'll be like, are you kidding me right now? Everybody's playing all defensive, but if they try to play defensive for whatever reason, like, the only thing that could happen here is that Florida, what's 176? Oh, Jackets. Okay, 176 plus 2.5. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. They'll probably come back and score and stuff like that. I think it's also very possible that Florida wins this game like 7-3 or something like that. 7-3 or 7-4. I think they will. Oh, shoot. You know what? I think they won their last one 8-4. But I also don't see Columbus doing anything but flying with these guys. I just can't see it. Columbus is going to try to play defense against Florida. They're going to get wrecked. The only way Columbus is winning this game is if they outscore them. If they just go head to head with them and try to outscore them. I don't see any way tactically that Columbus can choose to win the game at all. But the only way they could possibly win is, well, we know that what's his name? Oh, wait, when did they play last? I remember seeing that the last time they played, they won 8-4. Bobrovsky is here or there, right? And if that JF Berube guy has a huge outing, I suppose. But they've got, Florida should have some video on them now too, so they should know what their weaknesses are, and they're just playing with so much confidence right now. Even the loss to Nashville looked like, but the loss to Nashville was because Bobrovsky didn't really. A lot of it was the fact that Bobrovsky didn't play very well, and a lot of it was that Nashville just wanted to win that game more. Columbus does want to, I mean, if they have any chance of making the playoffs, they got to win these kind of games. So in that way, it works out well for them. The problem was last game, Florida was their first game back off of a really long road trip. That's done now. This is the second game back after the road trip. They should be back normal and everything again, and it could be a rough outing. Believe it or not, the computer on Odds Shark has this as an under. That would be crazy. I just wanted to see if the last time they played, I believe Bobrovsky was in. Yeah, Bobrovsky was in. And Elvis Merzlikins was in. They had Elvis Merzlikins in last game, and Florida won 8-4. So you can do it if you want. I understand the reasoning for it. I mean, Columbus is like, what is it? Are they 8-2 in their last 10 or something like that? Columbus is 8-2 in their last 10, I believe. No, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7-3 in their last 10. No, that's Florida. Yeah, 8-2. They beat Toronto. They beat Buffalo, Chicago, lost to Calgary, beat Montreal, Buffalo. See, they didn't really have the strongest competition in the world. The New York Rangers game was a big one, but beating Montreal twice, and this is before Montreal went on their run. They lost to Florida. They beat Washington just barely. And I think that's the game I was talking about, the first game back for Washington. Or was that Sunday, February 8th? Was that the Super Bowl? Was that the Super Bowl game in the afternoon? But beating Buffalo just barely, and then they lose to good teams, beat Chicago and beat Buffalo. They had a really good schedule, which I think makes that record look a little better than it is. So I'm thinking Florida, but I just can't. I just can't. What are you going to do? Florida puck line? I mean, the fact of the matter is Columbus has been playing really well, and the PL doesn't pay worth a darn. -2. Minus, maybe, so I like Blue Jackets team total over on the game. And if you want to, throw Florida in a parlay or something. A lot of people like the Sharks tonight. It makes sense. It makes sense. The Islanders are not a great team. Seattle looks like their heart's not in it anymore. So the fact that they won that game, I had that one. San Jose's heart doesn't look like it's totally in it either, though. That's the thing. But if you're gonna take that game, I think you have no choice but to take the Sharks or nothing, because there's no way I'm taking the Islanders there, with that much juice. No way. So, I got a sneaky little bit on over 5.5. San Jose's just been bleeding goals. Like, and I know the Islanders are not very good at scoring, don't score much, but I think just about anybody can score against San Jose right now. Let me look at this again. They lost 4-3 to Anaheim, 4-1 to Vegas Golden Knights, that was, a team that was still working in Eichel. 5-4 to Vancouver. They've given up at least 3 in the last 5 games. Now, that being said, those are pretty high-scoring teams. So, the last time they kept 7-1 to Tampa, they even allowed 3 against Seattle. And the Islanders have been playing over on the road like crazy. If the Islanders aren't scoring, they're letting them in. Yeah. They lost to Calgary 5-2. Last time they had a tight, low-scoring game was Montreal and then Edmonton. And I think, was that at home? I think that was at home. No, that was on the road. That was the last time on the road. So, I kind of like the over. San Jose can always score something. Sorokin hasn't really been playing all that well. Aiden Hill's done. Done. Aiden Hill, I believe he's injured long term. I could be wrong. And Reimer hasn't been playing with. He's been okay, not really that good though. They're gonna have Dzingel on their second line with Kocher and Dahlin. But their defense is so bad. Middleton, Burns, Ferraro, Meloche. Just terrible. Terrible defense. And Reimer's goals against average has been just climbing and climbing and climbing. And I guess they don't want to play that Zach Sawchenko kid too much. I don't know much about him, but oh, he's from Calgary. He's got terrible numbers in the minors. So, and Reimer, when you play him too much, does not play well. So I like the over. I think San Jose will probably get this, possibly, but I'm not 100% either. Feels like a tie. If there was a tie, this could be the tie. This could be the draw right here. Aiden Hill is, oh, it's day to day now. I guess he's day to day now. He was week to week, so he could be back soon, Aiden Hill. Yeah, D'Angelo's out. That is going to hurt Carolina a lot. And this is going to be like, this is going to really show what their defensive depth looks like. And I still think that Carolina is going to add some D-men at the, 1 or 2 D-men at the deadline. They're gonna, their D-man, their D is gonna get a test now that D'Angelo is out there. You've got, is out. Because you're gonna have Cole, not Cole. Cole, yeah, Ian Cole and Bear. So, oh, Jalen, they brought Jalen Chatfield out. That'll be interesting to see how Jalen Chatfield does. I've heard nothing but good things about how he's playing in the minors right now. So it may not work out too bad. The thing about it is, if I was Cole and Bear, I'd be shaking in my boots right now because I've heard nothing but good things about how he's playing in there. D'Angelo is out for a month. Ouch. Yeah, you got to go reg on Boston, right? You can't go ML unless you go a duo. Maybe do a duo. 2-team. Maybe a 2-team. Or 3-team or whatever. I don't do those big parlays, but yeah, this is going to be a good test. It actually works out pretty good because this is the time of the year where you really want to be able to test yourself. You can get a little bit complacent, and now you got a big player goes out of your lineup, and you got to grind it out a little bit. Everybody's got to take a. Is Little Perk still in here? You got to grind it. Now they got to grind it out a little bit. They got to. Adversity is the word I'm looking for. A little bit of adversity is good. No, well, he's not going to do anything risky now. Chatfield's a stay-at-home guy. Although I'm pretty sure they're working on him to be more aggressive in the minors. Pretty sure they're working on him to be more aggressive in the minors. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Because that's his problem, is he tries to lay back too much in the NHL. So we'll see what he does up here now. Yeah, the Avs. I'm okay. My concern about the Panthers is, are they going to be able to keep up the way they play in a 7-game series? I have my and Bobrovsky. It's one thing. If you remember, the Tampa Bay Lightning did that. This is what the Panthers are doing right now. They won. They won the President's Trophy. They blew everybody out of the water. I can't remember what did they have, like 12 losses all year or something like that, or not even that. They just crushed everybody. But they played that similar style. And then they went up to against a Columbus team with Tortorella, who was teaching them how to play playoff hockey all through the year, and they ended up losing. Florida, I think, still has to add levels to their game. But that being said, that top three, even top four, offensive pressure game that they have is amazing. But if we remember last year, they tried to do that against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just all they did is held them off for a couple of games and they pooched out. That was just a couple of games. Now, I think their team is better this year than last year. But I still am not sure if you're going to be able to play that style of game and win a 7-game series, or like win best out of 7 over and over and over in the playoffs against elite competition like Tampa Bay and all that. What are you going to do when you start getting tired? That's great teams in the playoffs have a game that you can play and win when you start getting tired. And the question is, does Florida have that? I think they're the best regular season team in the league. I'm not so sure about the playoffs. Bobrovsky's been good for a couple games, and then like against Nashville, what's he going to do when the pressure comes down on him and he has to play in the playoffs again? I just don't know if that game is going to do it. I want that game to do it because I want everybody to play that game. I want their game to win in the playoffs, but yeah, Ekblad was out. Yeah, for sure. Bobrovsky's not that great. Nobody's talking about it. Oh, Bobrovsky had 2 good games. He's back. He's not back. He's not back until he consistently plays at a level, but he hasn't yet. He plays a couple good ones. They get away with him playing bad because they outscore the opposition. You try to do that in the playoffs. Try to outscore the opposition every night in the playoffs and outscore your poor goaltending in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Tampa Bay, if Bobrovsky doesn't play well and they try to beat Tampa Bay playing the way they do, and they don't have a tired game, they don't have a shutdown game to go against Tampa Bay, I'm taking Tampa Bay in that game. I'm taking Tampa Bay. Now, you would think that they would start being able to play. Now they're ahead in the East. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. I would like to see them start learning how to play a shutdown game now. Who cares about the Presidents? Nobody gives a crap about who wins the President's Trophy. Couldn't care less. Have you ever noticed that teams that won the Cup, like Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh, they don't give 2 craps about whether they win the President's Trophy. It doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is that by the time you hit the playoffs, you've got a shutdown game. You've got many ways you can beat your opponent, and you're working as a unit to do that. And you can practice that in the regular season. What I don't see with Florida is them doing that. Yeah, I think Carolina needs to help their back end for sure. I agree. I think they definitely need to help their back end. Now, Colorado, you look at Colorado right now. Everybody's like taking overs on Colorado. over on Colorado, over on Colorado. Some games they do it, but a lot of games they're beating, like when they went up against Arizona, I think they lost 2-1 or 3-1 again or something like that against Arizona in overtime, and they didn't care. They were there to play a shutdown game against Arizona. They were practicing their shutdown game. Didn't go well. So you look at the tape and find more spots like that as you get up high. I think Colorado's got a better chance than Florida this year. I think Tampa Bay, it's hard to say that because you look at Florida, is like they can't stop scoring. They can't stop scoring. But how many times do you see in the playoffs that stops? And then what? In the teams that win cups win games when the scoring dries up, when the games get tired, when the grind sets in, and you've got to find a way to win certain things by playing a trap or like when Minnesota almost beat Vegas by playing a 3-1-1. I hadn't seen them play a 3-1-1 all year. That blew me away. But most teams practice stuff like that against lesser competition. I haven't seen Florida do that all year. I mean, that's my biggest concern for them. Well, yeah, if Darcy's out, they have nothing. They're done. If Bobrovsky's not good for Florida, they're not going to win. If Vasilevsky goes down for Tampa Bay, they're done. That's for sure. No doubt about it. I mean, there's no way. What's the percentage that Tampa Bay is going to win with Elliott in net? You find a different backup, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen. They do have weak opponents, but they're practicing their defensive game against those weak opponents. And they're not in a weak division, though. They play a lot of weak. That division is strong. St. Louis, Nashville, Winnipeg, Dallas. If Darcy's out, they're done for sure. If Anderson's out, Carolina's done. Carolina's not going to win without Anderson. The only way Florida wins a cup is if either Spencer Knight goes off as a kid in the playoffs, which, I mean, I like the guy, but really, is he that good that he's going to shut down Dallas, Carolina, Colorado in the playoffs? People will say, well, anything can happen. Yeah, but there's percentages to everything that happens. Ranta's like he can, but he generally gets, if he plays tired, he doesn't play well. He never did well in Arizona if he was tired. He's one of the when he's not injured, he's an incredible backup goaltender. Amazing backup goaltender. But if you try to overplay Ranta, he'll be on the IR within 2-3 games. Or he won't play well. That's the history. So, do I think Ranta's going to take them to the promised land? No, I don't. Is it possible? Of course, anything's possible. It's possible that the Edmonton Oilers play good enough defense to win the playoffs. Is it possible? I suppose. Would it be crazy? Yeah, it would be crazy. But it's not. I'm an Oilers fan. I'll tell you right now, I'm not laying anything on the Oilers to win the cup if they make the playoffs. Nothing. Unless they do a lot to their defense for sure. When he's on the top of his game. Like I said, as long as he doesn't wear down. But I still don't think he's going to lead him to a cup. I don't think anybody's backup's going to lead him to a cup. If the Rangers lose Shesterkin, they got a chance? No. No way. They don't have a chance. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Us Canadians, we overstate things. They have like what 5% chance of winning the cup without Shesterkin in net. What other teams are there that they Vegas? If Lehner doesn't come back, Vegas is done. They're going to win a cup with Brossoit as their goaltender? No, they're not. And Edmonton's not going to win a cup with any of their goaltenders. So they're not. I don't. I don't see them winning a cup with any of their goaltenders that they have. Best goalie core? I don't. I'm still not a Nedeljkovic guy, Lauren. Bernier did much better in Detroit. They have a better defense this year than Nedeljkovic is. Rittich is playing really well this year, for sure. But I mean, if Saros went down, Nashville really didn't have a chance to begin with, but certainly wouldn't have a chance then. I don't see how any team that loses their number one goaltender. Washington doesn't even really have one right now. There's no way Washington wins a cup with that goaltending. I can see why they're going after Fleury because they don't have a chance unless they get somebody like that. Winnipeg without Hollabuck, if they even make the playoffs. No. If Markstrom goes down for Calgary, Vladar is a good young goaltender, but is he gonna bring you to the promised land? No, not a chance. So anybody's number one goes down and they're done, for sure. Francouz is not going to take Colorado to promised land either. As much as I think Colorado on paper is the best team in the league, best defense in the league for sure, player for player. Yeah, I think Panthers could win that by that much. It's really going to be interesting to see when you look at that Panthers game how much it affects them. They've had everything kind of going their way for a while now. And now this is the time. Let me take a look at that. They've had everything going their way for a while now. Florida. So this is going to be the loss to Nashville, which was a bad loss. Oh, they lost to Calgary 6-2 on the road. And then came back and beat Chicago 7-4. Was that home or away? Oh yeah, I think they were like on that Western road trip, right? At Calgary, yeah. And then they came back and won 7-4. Came home. That's Columbus. Looking at Columbus. Sorry, guys. What the heck am I talking about? Florida. There. Okay. The last time they lost to the Rangers 5-2. And they came back and had a big win against Carolina. Before that, they lost 5-3 to Seattle in a really bad spot. Western road trip spot. And then came back and won against Winnipeg 5-3. So, I mean, when's the last time they lost 2 in a row? Florida. Last time they lost 2 in a row was back in December. They went Winnipeg, Vegas. They, again, at won at home against Winnipeg. Then went to Vegas, won there. Went to San Jose, won. Came home, won against Columbus. Lost against the Rangers. Is this Columbus again? No. Lost against the Rangers 5-2 on the road. Then came back and beat Carolina, Minnesota, Chicago. Lost against Nashville. So the trend would say Florida crushes pretty good here. Hey, Rick Kid, how you doing, buddy? Who's that? I still don't agree. I don't agree with you about Peter DeBoer being an overrated coach. But let's go Boston, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, Jared McCann is out tonight for the Seattle Kraken. Jared McCann is out tonight for the Seattle Kraken. So that's another reason why to go for Boston tonight, because he's really been the only guy scoring for them. I'd almost consider team total under for Seattle tonight. Like I don't when. I'd almost consider team total under. I may do something with that because if it wasn't for Allmark, but still, Seattle is just not been able to score, right? They scored against Winnipeg. Last 3 games, Seattle has only scored 2 goals against the Islanders. Vancouver's got a bad defense. And Calgary, that was the Giordano back to Calgary game where they, and I believe Grubauer went out of his head for once in his life, once this year. Almost took it for them. They won against, scored 4 against Anaheim. And that was, Anaheim hadn't played in forever in that game, I believe. Yeah, team total under. The thing about the Islanders is when they lose, they give up a lot. But when they win, they don't. I think that would be a good play too. Yeah, well, that's the thing is the Blue Jackets right now are playing with quite the confidence. Uh, at that time they weren't. However, I still think there's a really good chance that they blow them out tonight for sure. Just the Blue Jackets are coming in with a lot of confidence. They beat Toronto. Lion A shooting like everything he shoots goes in. Lion A anytime goal scoring. Might as well do that every game right now. He is playing with incredible amount of confidence right now. But yeah, I mean, I understand the reason why somebody would take Colorado plus 2.5 because the way they've been playing so well and they seem to be able to come back right after a goal. I can get it. I get it. I don't know, against a team like Florida, I think the odds of that being the case fall a bit. 50-50. It goes from like 20% chance to 50% chance. So you're getting a coin flip on 1.72. So really, I think there's better things to look for there. If 50% of the time you're going to lose, you're only, if 50% of the time you're only going to win a 0.75, you're down in the long run on that. But now look at that, I just talked you out of it. If I just talked you out of it and it hits, that's what I like about that. So what other games we got? Yeah, I wish I would have got in at the 6.5. Now it's all juiced up at 7. It's crazy. See if we got any more news. Dallas Stars claim Marion Studenich from New Jersey, and then put Tanner Kiro on waivers. I have a feeling somebody will pick him up. But Studenich is younger. Oh, Sekera is out tonight. I haven't really checked. Let me see this. Let's see what Dallas. Sekera is out for Dallas. That's a sneaky loss. Who are they going to have in there? So Thomas Harley is out in tonight. That rookie, the rookie Thomas Harley. What's his minor? Over 8.5. I wouldn't even doubt if that happens, dude. He's only got 11 assists in 27 games this year. They must have him working on defense. He was like a superstar in the OHL. Now he's only got 11 points in 27 games. He's played 13 games and hasn't got a point. Yeah, even more like Nashville now that Sekera is out. Is there anybody else out for that game? No. And Holpe's in net, so yeah. I just don't think. I think most overrated goaltender in the NHL. Braden Holtby, the most overrated goaltender in the NHL. So, anyways, that's something. Yeah, Jerry McCann placed on the injury reserve, and D'Angelo out. We talked about. Did you know, Lauren? You weren't here when we talked about it. That it says here that Valley Sports Midwest, Andy Strickland reports that he's hearing the Nashville Predators are actively shopping Philip Forsberg. Actively shopping Philip Forsberg. Man, even though he's a rental, I think there would be a lot of teams pining for that. Los Angeles Kings, I could see like all over that. Why? Because they're not a contender and he knows it. And they don't want to sign him to. He's getting 8 years on the open market. He's getting 7 years. If they don't trade him at the deadline, they'll trade his rights, and somebody's going to give him 8 years. At like, man, I don't know. Crazy money. It's going to be an overpay for sure. For a guy like Forsberg, and Poyle's got to look at his team and say, are we a contender this year, next year, the year after? And if the answer is no, then I agree with them. And their prospect pool is weak. Really weak. Those are moves that I think come from smart general managers. But they're in Nashville where people fill the building no matter what. I don't even think the sponsors care. They can get away with it because they're going to fill the building no matter what. But 44 points in 38 games. This could be a ploy, too, to light a fire under Nashville's ass. They may not even be doing this. It might be just a way to say, you know what, you guys don't look like a contender. You just lost 4 in a row. So I'm going to leak it out there that Nashville's on the market. If you guys want me to keep them, then you got to show me you're a contender from now on in. I think that is probably what this is. Probably what it is. But if not, if he's just decided, you know what, this team is not going to be a contender, it doesn't make sense for us to sign Forsberg and continue being a bubble team over and over and over again. Probably, but you know, then why did you sign Matthias Ekholm? What did he sign for? Oh, is Ekholm a free agent after this? What? I thought they just signed him long term. I thought they signed Ekholm long term already. Was that a few years ago or what? Flip Forsberg's a UFA. No, yeah, he does sign. Why did they? Okay, I don't understand that, but why do you sign Ekholm then at 31? One, two, three. Oh, that's why, because it was only 4 years. So that's the thing. I think they wouldn't mind signing Forsberg, but not for 8 years till he's 35 years old. And I don't know what the number he's looking for. That's the thing. I mean, Philip Forsberg goes on the open market. There's going to be some team that way overpays for him. 27-year-old guy who is, you know, he's got 44 points in 38 games. He's having probably the best season of his career. Two-time 30-goal scorer, one-time 28, 429 points in 535 games, and he's just hitting his peak right now. Somebody's going to give him 8 or 9. Somebody's going to give him 8 or 9 million for 8 years. And maybe Nashville's like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it could be just something they leaked out to get them all motivated. Maybe contract talks aren't going very well. And he's basically trying to, it's a ploy. It's a way for him, you know, a contract negotiation thing or something. Or maybe he's really going to do it. I just don't know what you're going to do after you trade Forsberg. If you're going to do that, then you pretty much got to like tear it down even more than that, right? And maybe he has decided that. Maybe he has decided that, yeah, this team does like works hard. I love the way the coach has them playing. They're playing as good as they possibly can, and they're still not a contender. So if that's the case, and you don't think adding more players is going to make them a contender, and I think that's very well likely the case, then I don't think they have a choice but to trade Forsberg. But they should also trade Ekholm and everybody else. But that's what I didn't understand about it. I thought when they signed Ekholm, that pretty much was going to ring in they're not rebuilding thing. Did he have a no trade clause? Ekholm? Oh, and Ekholm didn't even sign a no trade clause. Holy crap. Wow. Or did he? It's funny, it doesn't show on Cap Friendly. It only shows up until this year. That is weird. Maybe he did, but But Forsberg could be looking for a huge number, so that's possibly why. There's lots of reasons, and nothing's happened yet. So, according to Scott Powers and Mark Lazarus of The Athletic, if the Chicago Blackhawks and goalie Marc-Andre Fleury agree on a trade, it could potentially net them a first-round pick. While they do say a second or third selection is probably more realistic. Some do believe teams will pay for last year's Vezina winner. The team does not have their first round pick this year because of the Seth Jones trade. I think if he will be willing to go to Washington, they would give up a first round pick for sure. I think if he'd be willing to go to Washington, they'd get a first. But it would have to be a first plus. The whole thing is like, okay, I heard a lot about Fleury getting traded, but what about cap space, man? They got to get a player back in return or something. Maybe if they retain a crap load, which they should, if they retain and they can work out a deal with Washington, I bet you they get a first plus a player because they're desperate. Washington is totally desperate for a goaltender. Every year the window just gets smaller and smaller for their Stanley Cup chances. So I think Washington would give up the first. I think you could wait out Washington and eventually they'd say, yeah, screw it, take it. Take our first. Especially if they could sign him to 2-3 years. But now, on the other thing I heard, and this wouldn't be a first, and this was the first time I'd really thought about it, but Bill Guerin in Minnesota. I don't think they're getting a first from Minnesota. In fact, I don't even know if do they have a first to give? Why do I think that they don't even have a first to give? I'm sure they do. I don't think they're giving up a first, though. The first is too valuable to them right now. They're building for 3-4 years from now when they can start signing free agents after the buyouts are done for Parise and that. Zuccarello's in tonight, by the way. Yeah, they do have a first, but I think they would trade a second and a decent prospect or something like that. The thing is does Chicago want to trade Fleury to Mini? I guess if you're really rebuilding, if you're really going to do a rebuild, who cares if it's within the division? If you can get a player you like, if you can get a good prospect that you like. And that would be maybe just Carson Lambos, because Ryan O'Rourke is a left defenseman too. A second or in Lambos or something like that. But that would be just for this year, I believe. And they could give Talbot back so they'd have a goaltender so Chicago would have a goaltender for the rest of the year and whatever. They would it would also make the cap work. I wonder if they could re-sign him after that. But if Minnesota has any chance at all, I think that's what they would have to do. I still wouldn't call them I don't know. Fleury with that kind of team in front of him, you never know. They would have a decent chance if they had a guy like Fleury back there. It could blow up totally in their face though, because they're not what I would call a playoff team. Goligoski comes off the books. They got but I think, and he would be great for Kakkonen. It's just a question of whether he would be willing to go to Minnesota. And then if Minnesota would think about re-signing him for a year or two, which would mean not bringing back Goligoski, basically working, and that would also mean that they don't upgrade up the middle. They take the goaltender instead. And honestly, as much as I think they need both. If I'm going to do anything, even if they upgrade up the middle, they're not winning a cup with Talbot as their goaltender. No way. Kakinen, he has been playing better as of late, but he has no playoff experience whatsoever. So if they really want to go for a couple rounds and get as far as they can, Fleury is the guy, I would have to say. And since Bill Guerin played with Fleury. You never know, I suppose. You never know. So the rest of the games today, we got Boston, Seattle, Nashville. We taken Nashville, Calgary, Vancouver. I don't know. Calgary should win that, of course, because they have the better team. But I wouldn't take it any more than money line. Vancouver's gonna want to win this so bad, so bad. Vancouver is going to want to win this game so bad. I'm just not sure that they have the goods to win it. And then Sutter could get Calgary to want to win it almost as bad, just because. You got these are two teams that really hate each other. I probably would lean the under. Vancouver's defense, though. He's changing the lines up. You got Pearson, Miller, and Garland. Podkolzin. I also think that's what. I think that Podkolzin, Pettersson, and Hoglander is foreshadowing what is going to happen in the future here. That's going to be their number one line. That's what they want as their number one line. Besser, Horvat. And I don't know why they keep on playing Jason Dickinson with these offensive players. So I think Pearson, unless they go on a huge run here, Pearson's gone. You got the whole ex Vancouver players on Calgary thing too going on, and that even makes it more that Vancouver wants to win this game so bad. I just, as bad as they want it, I don't know if they got the goods. It'd be great at 240 to give it a shot. Vancouver has not a great home record. Calgary's got a better away record. Vancouver beat Seattle, whoop-de-doo. They lost to Anaheim. They just barely won against San Jose and the struggling Toronto team at home. They've been all over the map. And then Calgary, of course, is going 10 wins in a row. Is this the one? Is this the one that Calgary drops against Vancouver, their rival? Oh, and this is a bad spot. Winnipeg, the Calgary, they played against Winnipeg in Calgary. Then they go on the road to Vancouver, which isn't that big of a deal, actually. And then come back home for Minnesota. It's not that big. It's not that long of a trek, though. They could be an overlook game. They got Minnesota coming in at home, but they're not going to overlook the Canucks. They hate the Canucks. Like these teams hate each other. Sometimes I think more than Edmonton and Calgary hate each other. Really, mostly because both Edmonton and Calgary have been bad, but I don't know. But it's a weird play. It's a weird spot. I think Calgary wins the game. Though. I think Calgary's going to win it. I got to go with Calgary. I just wouldn't go any more than money line. Because I don't think it'll be a blowout. I mean, their effort's going to be there tonight. Vancouver's effort is going to be there tonight. They want to win this game. They want to win this game. And Calgary's effort is always there, so. And Sharks and the Islanders, I think you got to go the Sharks here, but the Islanders are coming off an easy win against Seattle. Was that last night? No, it was 2 nights ago. I got a little bit on over 5.5. Probably be some goals scored. Well, I think that's all I got for you today, guys. No more news. We had the Forsberg. We talked about Forsberg. Oh, let me check out, see if we have any more goaltending confirmations here. Grubauer is in for Seattle. Reimer has been playing less and less. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Holy crap. Jonas Johansson is in for Florida. They're playing Johansson in Florida. Oh, I don't know what to. That's what that. I mean, why do I think everything points to the over? There's so much. This is going to be an under. Florida's going to play all defensive for Jonas Johansson. What has he been? They're putting Jonas Johansson in. What happened to Spencer Knight? Holy crap! What's going on? Well, Spencer Knight's in the minors. When did that happen? He's crushing down there. Oh yeah, he's been a while. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. He did get sent down. They're putting Jonas Johansson in tonight. Wow. He is terrible. You might maybe you do take Columbus tonight. Jonas Johansson hasn't played in forever. Like forever. I'm glad I got my I'm glad I got my team total over in for Columbus Blue Jackets. Holy crap! I have no choice but to put over do the over 7 on that. Did I do that? I did the over first period. Am I gonna follow the herd and take the over 7? How can that not be an over? That's what scares me, because every time I say, how can that not be an over, it ends up being an under. But I can't see one, unless Florida plays like this weird shutdown game that they haven't really shown that they can play all season long. I think Columbus is going to have a field day with Johansson. All right. Okay. They're not playing Bobrovsky against their old team. Maybe they're figuring that that Columbus will actually have a more difficult time scoring on a guy that they don't play all the time. I don't know. That's weird. That is weird. It's got to be over though. I gotta put it in. Can you believe they're putting? I mean, I can believe they're putting Johansson in. Now that +2.5 looks really good. Whoever was putting +2.5 in there, you got Johansson in. I mean, logically speaking, that's got to be it. It's just got to be. It's got to be. It's got. How come it feels like so much like it's going to be like now it's going to be like 3-2 or something like that. Johansson will just go nuts. When is the last time Johansson even played a game? It's been a long time since Johansson even played a game. He hasn't even played in the AHL. He hasn't had one game in the AHL. He played 9 games for Colorado. Since he was picked up by Florida, Johansson hasn't played one single game all year. And now they're going to play him stone cold against a Columbus team that has been scoring how many goals? And I got Columbus plus team total over 2.5. I should have put way more. If I would have known that, I would have gotten. If I would have known they were going to put Johansson in. Johansson used to play for Buffalo. Very weird spot. Okay, well, that's my full 42. I can't believe that happened. I wanted to check that out. I'm going to let you guys go now. We'll be back tomorrow. Will I be back tomorrow? It's today, Thursday. Yeah, I'll probably be back tomorrow at this time. I don't think I have a live. I tried to do a live stream last night. I ended up taking a whole day off because it didn't work out. But I want to get on a live stream sometime this week. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for coming in, listening, and all that stuff. Talk to you later. Okay. Bye.